Hi there, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well today. Some of you are got the deep freeze, and some of you are looking for it, but we'll all probably be in some sort of cold weather by the end of the week, possibly for Halloween. We'll see. But I hope you all have a good Halloween anyway, regardless of where you are, assuming, of course, that you pay attention to the holiday or you have little kids or something like that. I know some people don't, but if you do, enjoy it. Okay, today I've got well, this is going to be a long quote, but the conversation around it is really about small changes. But it's essentially, the quote comes roughly from something from James Clear in Atomic Habits about making 1% changes every day. And the idea essentially is that if you make just a small change every day, but keep it up, it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. But it will, in a sense, compound like compound interest if you put money in the bank, and it will compound over time and get to be someplace. So the long quote goes with this because it expresses that particular idea. When nothing seems to help, oh, by the way, before I get into it, from what I understand, this particular quote or statement was on a sign that was in the someplace in the building for the San Antonio Spurs. Now, I don't follow NBA basketball, but I've read that this was in the building, and then they would work at, or the people would look at it and just sort of adopt the quote for themselves, and that's how they how they got to be a really good team. Whether that's apocryphal, I don't know, but at least that's the story I hear. Maybe some of you might have an idea and have better idea of whether it's true or not. But anyway, that's where I understand this came from. And it came from somebody who died in 1914, over 100 years ago. So, it's even more powerful today. When nothing seems to help, I go and look at the stonecutter, hammering away at his rock, perhaps 100 times a day, without so much as a crack showing in it. Yet at the 101st tap, it will split in two. And I know it was not that one little hit that broke it, but all the others that had gone before. And Jacob, last name Riis, it's Danish, so I don't know how to pronounce it because I'm afraid if I say something, I'll really slaughter it. But so the idea here is if you think in terms of a stone cutter or somebody who just, works with statues, or think of Michelangelo doing as David or something like that, he'd still have to tap at it and chip away at it slowly but surely. And no one single tap on the stone would do anything, but it's the accumulation of all those taps that gets you to wherever it is. Now, what James Clear will talk about with his 1% change is that if you make small changes every day, you may not necessarily see it within, say, a week or two, but you will over the course of time. One of the more obvious concepts here is weight. You can lose, say, half a pound or a pound a week, and if you're really overweight, you're not going to see that change. But if you keep up with it over time, you will see a change. So that the idea here is that the change may be minuscule in a sense, at least as far as you can tell, because you don't see anything. But over the time, if you keep it up, will make some major changes. So here the concept, what I'm trying to get at, is that when you're wanting to make some change about anything, whether it is weight or anything else you want to do, you're trying to improve a particular habit. Maybe you're trying to, I've talked about my reading comprehension course. If you're trying to improve your reading comprehension, or you're trying to do better at work for something, or you're working on a particular athletic skill or any other kind of skill, or maybe you're trying to learn to cook, and right now you're doing, what you can to learn to boil your water. If you keep working at it little by little by little, you won't necessarily see anything at the end of the week, maybe not even at the end of the month. But if you think about it, now mathematically this doesn't work, but just go with the concept here. If you think in terms of making 1 small % change a day, which is not big as far as today, think of how many changes and what the percentage is going to be over the course of a year. Now, you could think about over the course of a month, in a sense, what you're making is 30% change, sort of. It's not really actually, because it's compounds, but that's beside the point. Just go with that. If you think in terms of how that 1% just adds on to each other over the course of time, so that you get better and better and better at whatever it is you're trying to do. Sports teams have done this. There's a story in Clear's book, or he reports the story in Clear's book, about how the British cyclists years ago were basically at the bottom of the barrel for the cycling world, the cycling sport. And they started making small changes, nothing big, but they made just small shifts and things. Maybe the different kind of bikes they used, maybe the placement of the seat on the bicycle, just made small changes over the course of time. And they ended up winning Olympic gold medals and the Tour de France and things like that. And they started to become a real powerhouse in the cycling world. There was something else about rowers and things like that. Sports. I told you about that sign, in the San Antonio Spurs room. They make small changes, nothing much. If you're cooking, something about maybe the size of the pan or the bowl you use, or maybe make a difference in the temperature of how you heat something, or maybe you go from, say, half and half milk to whole milk or some such thing. You're not making a big change, but you're making a small change that over the course of time makes a difference in everything else. So when you're tackling a project or a change that you want to make and think, this is so big, I can't do it, start thinking in terms of the small ones. The small changes are what's going to get you there, because you're going to probably be able to keep at the small changes longer than when you try and do something all at once and then you quit. It's kind of like what happens with New Year's resolutions, isn't it? I'm going to get fit. I'm going to stop eating. I'm going to lose weight or whatever. And people do things really, really hard and fast for about a week, if it's that long, and then they give up, right? But if you say that, okay, I'm just going to, let's just say you want to lose weight. So say, let's just say for the sake of argument, you've got 20 potato chips today, and I'll eat the 20. Tomorrow I'll just eat 19. And the day after I'll just eat 18. And it's in 3 weeks, you won't have a potato chip again, because you're not doing it all at once. Slowly but surely you get used to it. So in a sense, the whole concept, you're not going to go, well, at least I don't think you're going to go out and count out potato chips and what you're going to eat on a daily basis. But the thought about that is to take it just a little bit at a time, because you can just do a small change today. You can do it. It's not going to take you that long, most likely, unless that's the issue you want. You want to make a change in your time. Just make a small change in your time, then make another change tomorrow, or repeat that change. And maybe, let's say you want to study and you're having a hard time getting up to reading a book or some such thing like that. If you can say, like, just read 15 minutes a day, and then tomorrow might make it to 16 or 17. And then over the course of a month or a couple of weeks, you'll be up to a 30 minutes or an hour or some such thing like that. It's not, if you try and make a big change to go from nothing to an hour a day, you're probably not going to last. But if you go from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15, you're probably going to get there. It may take you what seems like a little longer, but you'll get there. Whereas if you try and do it all in one fell swoop, it's not going to happen. Does this make sense? I hope so. So I hope you think in terms of looking for something that you want to change, and start thinking about what are the small things you can do on a daily basis that will get you to where you want to be. Might take you some time, but at least you'll get there. So you might want to, say, take pictures or write down measurements or whatever it is, and just keep posting so that you can go back and take a look at it. And then post and let me know what you did. Again, if you found this useful, let me know. I would really appreciate if anybody had some thoughts about this or how it's worked out for them. And so just give me some comments and let me know. And we will chat with you later. Bye.